Still figuring out the volume. Which one is it again? This one, pre-post. How about that? No. Anything. Insert sends aux1, aux2, HP, line 3, 4, aux1. I don't remember how I set this up even. Voice, how about this? That's a little bit more, a bit extra. Let's do insert vox. Default small room. There we go. That's maybe a little better, but there's more to do. Darn mic. All right, just try to find a compressor thing to use here. And the volume's still low. Okay, so I got the C-Suite Socks net. Oh, now I need the Pultec EQP. Okay. There. No, there, better, anything? Okay, next up, precision de-esser. The hell is a de-esser? I don't have precision de-esser. Screenshot. All right. I need to boost the volume even more. Okay. $25? Is that a bit too much? No? Better? Brainworks, huh? What the heck is Brainworks? Nope. Fab filter. Wave. No. What the heck? You tell me to put Poltec Studer? I'm not gonna do Studer. Here's Studer. Let me do a preset. Hip hop, jazz, vocal. Okay, whoa. That is louder. Did not expect that. Cool, that's actually pretty good. I'm gonna save this template. Okay, so now what? I have session 439 and hold on. Let me do something. Okay, where is it? Mac webcam. Then use the preset chroma key. Bam. All right, try something like that. Try to get rid of as much background noise as possible, but it doesn't seem 100% possible. So you may notice, okay, SongVisualizer version 0.8Z alpha. And actually, give me a second. I'm gonna see if I could set something. Yeah, hold on. Be right back. All right. 1 second. Just plugging stuff in. Whoops. Much better. All right. Just moving stuff around, including that, and that's better. Gonna hear a lot of back noises from moving the microphone as I get used to the positioning of it. It's gonna get annoying. Okay. Hold on. Try it again. Okay. Nope. See, I don't want the mic right in my face. That's the thing. Okay. SongVisualizer version. What is it? 0.8Z. Which means I've gone through the alphabet almost 9 times now. 26 times 9. That's the version number in decimal form. And the version is bumped or defined as my own interpretation of what is considered enough changes in the program to bump up by a letter. So I'm almost at version 0.9, and then I guess from there, after 0.9, I'll just go to 1.0. Have 10 be the max of digits. And yeah, I still consider it alpha rather than pre-alpha, just because I play it every session. So this whole, I started Song Creator. Here, let me show the Song Creator since I'm not going to be doing guitar right now. Don't have to show all those inserts for guitar. Where's Song Creator? Song Creator. There we go. Just put that here. Who knows? I might even reference it. A couple of versions ago, I was focused on SongVisualizer. In particular, how the whole strings and frets are chosen, and that was some fun stuff that got really good songs that almost made me want to start to record again. The last time I recorded song of my own songwriting was 2022, January, February. So it's been a while. Focus has been on this project, Song Creator, SongVisualizer. And lately, in these past 430 sessions, I've made some improvements that make me more accurate on top of sessions before that, where so I don't remember when the last devlog I did was, because when I render these videos, I kind of skip over the devlogs and just do the playthrough videos. But there's a lot that's been going on this project. And it's exciting because I'm starting to feel, let's see, I don't remember how long this SongVisualizer is, or how old the SongVisualizer is, because I know when I started the Song Creator, October 26, 2021, and then from up until February 2022, I was still using Rocksmith to play the Song Creator songs. So I didn't have the SongVisualizer, I think, until It had to be late 2022, or because I remember by July, I think I was still. I don't remember when I was actually transitioning to this SongVisualizer from Rocksmith. But this project overall is 2.5 years long so far, 2.5 years long, almost daily programming. And it's where all my free time goes. So this is a server client relationship, synchronizing files. There's a database, my users in a table, talking to the server host of files. It's quite a few files going on for this particular user. And my goal for this session, whatever, is to go over the recent changes that I've been doing because it's currently undocumented. It's quite a lot. Like, I don't have my guitar plugged in, but the minigame still shows that I'm getting an error, but you can't see it. Detected note Q. And I think my program froze. Yeah. Okay. And let's look at how the movement is. I have two monitors. Oh, can't tell if the OBS is having slow movement, but on my screen I'm having okay movement. Interesting. Must be the monitor. Hopefully it's smooth on the actual broadcast. Let's see. I'm going to view it on my other device. Yeah, interesting. Maybe my monitor that's just not smooth. Huh. All right, so you may notice that the frets are having text on them. And that was something that I had a while ago, and then I removed it for some time, and then just very recently I added it back. And that's because of good reason. Pygame, game loop, to say the least, in regards to well, that's quite a deep topic. In terms of Pygame game loop, or any game loop in general, you want as little calculation as possible in each frame, which is hard to do to some degree. There's a matter of tracking all the layers and the ordering and the positioning. But one thing I'm still having trouble, because I'm using Python. Well, I mean, I'm using Python. I'm using OpenGL with Pygame. And there's still some areas of bottleneck that I have that it's interesting because for the longest time I was like, man, I can't improve this any further than what it is. I already thought it out as much as I could. And then I actually stopped programming and then start playing it as a user, take a break from that writings block. And then I come back and I go, well, I can actually make this more granular. I could split it up and get more specific. And then it turns out like, oh yeah, I can re-optimize it. I can change the design to remove more calculations so that my 60 frames, 60 times a second writing has less to do per each frame. So yeah, 60 times a second is a lot to do particular actions. Like anything that you end up doing in this game loop, it like multiplies. One little thing actually turns out to be a lot of things. Because you do it 60 times a second, right? That's a lot. Like I know I keep saying that, but it really hit me during this project. Because all the things that I'm doing, right? Like, can you keep track when you're looking at this? This is not including the guitar input at the moment, but just on the screen right here, just keep track of what's going on. You have the current Tom's song time incrementing. You have the measures incrementing, and the tempo static, but let me do dynamic. Because you'll have the tempo changing, and then you have the fret numbers writing and erasing. It's only showing the fret numbers if there's an active note, and then otherwise it's not showing the fret number. And then you have the notes moving. So what is static and what is dynamic in regards to what's getting updated on the screen and what's not getting updated? Well, the song time's getting updated, the measure numbers getting updated, the tempo might be getting updated, the notes positions are getting updated, what notes are displayed and not displayed is getting updated, the frets text is getting updated. What's not getting updated? Well, the song name, the buttons, but the button's a trick question because the buttons are updated on initial song stop and song play right here. There's more buttons, and you start the song, there's less buttons. It's a one-time update. And then there's the SongVisualizer version's not updated. The tuning's not updated. During the song game loop, I mean. The fret lines are not updated. So it's all layered. But this is OpenGL. So I still am getting a texture because so Pygame has surfaces, which is SDL, right? You could draw rectangles, circles, whatever shapes you want. I'm drawing these arrows even with SDL, right? Just specifying all the pixels or whatever that you want to draw with. And drawing the X's for the palm mutes. So all that is a surface in Pygame. And then each note is a sprite. But the OpenGL aspect to display it, it doesn't use surfaces. It uses textures or vertices, shaders, fragments, and vertex shaders. But I'm using Pygame to make these on a surface, and then I'm taking a texture of the surface to render on the screen. But everything's done on the CPU. I've been trying to have GPU delta time, but it didn't work as I thought. And then I tried having a camera, just like have a really long image, or even try having tile. Trying all sorts of things to get the smoothest movement possible, because on the Windows computer, it's not smooth. It's only on this Mac that it's smooth, and it's driving me crazy. All right. I will be right back, though. All right, I'm back. All right, I'm gonna try to sit here and devote to a stream. Just give me a minute. All right. Just looking for that. Okay. Get the volume back. And let's see how how long I could go on this stream. I usually don't have long streams. Hour and a half, 2. But, you know, all day I'm actually on the computer, just not streaming. So the entire year last year, 2023, I put a video a day on my YouTube. And that just goes to show I've been playing this SongVisualizer over a year. And so for the longest time, well, I had one version of, okay, let me go back. So yeah, for the longest time, for X number of sessions, I think I started the guitar input frequency definitions May, June of last year. Something like that, because I remember around the summertime I spent some time defining the drop C, or all the frequencies of guitar, all the strings and the frets for single notes and chords up to 2-note and 3 notes. For every 21 frets, 6 strings. Defining in a JSON file every frequency for the chords, all for the notes, and in E standard, and however many other tunings: E flat, drop D, drop C, open G, open E, whatever I didn't mention that's here. And it's been interesting because very recently I introduced, well, I bugged out because I missed something here. I haven't played a note, detected notes queue. Well, this screen started off as a mini game. So this is supposed to be every string and fret, right? From 0 to 21. 0 fret open string, basically. From left to right, 0 to 21. 6 rows, 21 columns. And it started off as a mini game, like, oh, just pick a random one. It would say, play string this, fret that. And then I'll play it. And then it would say, okay, good job, you played it. Or fail, you missed it. But that goes on the assumption that the definitions are correct. The guitar is in the same tuning as the definition, which can vary by intonation or just how the guitar is tuned or whatever else. And that's something that I encountered recently, very recently, because I restructured this screen to instead be a mini game. Yeah, it's still called mini game. I haven't renamed it, but I restructured the purpose of this screen to be, well, instead of, it still does random, but I added these previous next buttons. I don't have, it's looking for I can't go through the screen because there's an error right now because I don't have my guitar plugged in, and currently it's expecting me to have something to find a notes queue, which I can't have if I haven't played a note. Let me add a to do here. To do this bugs out if no detected notes queue does not exist, has not played note yet. Just put a to do note in the code. So now I have a previous and a next button, and then I have a redefine button, which the redefine button will redefine the frequency based on what I played rather than what's expected. And currently there's a leniency factor of +1, -1. And then there's greater leniency factor later on. But the initial leniency right here is +1, -1, and the value. So overall 3 values for the value of 1. If I hit value 360, it goes 359, 360, 361. So it's 3. Just to give a slight leniency off the bat if the guitar is slightly out of tune of what's expected. However, this, like it keeps saying, very recently, since I made this change on this. So what I did, because I noticed, particularly when I play E flat, that on my instrument, on certain frets, particularly the higher up frets, on my second and first string, sometimes the third string, that the note would not be detected. And I know I hit it. I'm fairly certain I hit it. And that goes into the topic of how I changed the note hit visual effect. That's another topic. But on the topic of the, hold on. Let me try to fix the errors so I can get something. Because it's looking for a note, but I haven't played any notes yet. Else. If it by I think it's found it. Oh no, it didn't find. Oh right, I don't have it plugged in. Duh. Hold on. It shouldn't even allow me in this screen because I don't have it plugged in. My bad. I assumed I had it plugged in. So what I have a device. Okay, this also is another topic. Someone mentioned to me, long story short, is my guitar is connected to the program, right? It gets its frequency and all that to determine if the note hits or miss when I play it. It's doing that because it's taking the clean signal from my audio device and connecting through a USB. And I have to plug that in, which I forgot I unplugged. So restart the program. Let's see what it says. Nope, still didn't find it. See, if I go on the tuner screen and it's not detected, it should kick me out the tuner screen right off the bat. On this screen, I didn't do that same logic, I guess. See, it kicks me out of the tuner screen because it's not detecting. Let me make sure it's plugged in. Whoop, let me make sure it's plugged in. So many wires. One second. Okay, got it. But I just lost the interface, the hub. Oh, there it is. So right now I have to restart the program when I reconnect the device. We need to have a button in the program that says reinitialize audio device. But I'm not in a programming mood. And this is only alpha. Try again. Has it detected? Not found. Maybe because I don't have my guitar plugged in. Okay, there. Now it found it. I'm on the tuner screen, no problem. So when I go back to the redefine screen, now it shows. Okay. Well, next time I'll just have to kick the user out. So this screen, as I was trying to say, is that I wrote recently to redefine the frequency based on what the user plays. So, like I noticed the first number of frets were okay. It was just a higher up frets. And yeah, that's an intonation thing, right? Intonation is about the tuning across all frets. Wow, that's taking the input of my microphone. Let's see. Go back. Try again. Okay. So, yeah, well, right now it's taking the input. I don't have my guitar plugged in, so it's taking some input. Man, because they're on the same channel, the voice and the guitar, or something like that. Well, anyways, so you can see it says detected frequency, expecting frequencies. So string 6, fret 7 is expecting frequencies 96, 97, 98. So that means when I tuned this string originally, whatever, I expected it to be frequency 97. And the initial definition of the frequencies for each individual string and fret is done by algorithm. You know the frequency for each open string. You know the increment that each fret is expected to do. So you can just write algorithm expecting this variation of frequency for this fret. And then on top of that, you could do the same logic for alternate tunings. If you know the E standard tuning and you know the difference between E flat, you could adjust it a variation. Well, whether that's the good way to do it or if it's a good way to do it as same as E standard, either way. Let me check how I did it. Because I wonder if there's a difference. But I think the way I did it is I adjusted the E standard based on the drop C. I didn't do something like where I did something where only the E standard was initially defined and the alternate tunings adjust the E standard. But anyways, what I noticed is when I played with E flat and I was playing the higher up frets, that my frequency was not, for my guitar input, was not having a note hit effect when I was trying to play the note. So there's a difference of frequency between the note and my guitar. And when I went through this screen a session or two ago, I noticed it was just like 1 or 2 sharp. Or sometimes, well, the big story behind this note frequency stuff, there's a whole lot that I'm trying to summarize, a whole giant number of sessions of playtesting and seeing it. The initial value of the buffer size that I had for my guitar input was 1024. And that should have been a red alarm in the first place. But up and from the entire point, the entire existence of my SongVisualizer guitar input, up until very recently, had 1024 buffer size. And I never thought too much about it, right? Because having a audio device, when I have audio device, I remember to look at buffer size, right? So the idea is when plucking a string, how much delay is there between the pluck of the string and the audio aspect? Is there any delay? And in an audio device, it's really noticeable with 1024 buffer size. Yes, there is the delay. You pluck the string, there's a long delay between the pluck and actual hearing it. And that delay is, when I could hear it, I know it's not acceptable to have that, because it'll ruin everything. In that when you're playing one note, you're gonna hear that note you played while you're trying to think of the next note, and it'll just throw you off. But in this SongVisualizer, I never thought about it. So all this time I had 1024 buffer size. Up until, I don't know what session it was, just some point, I changed it to 512 buffer size. And then I noticed I got more accuracy, because sometimes on the 1024 buffer size, it's like, I know I hit it. And what happened was, instead of fixing the buffer size issue, I created a problem where I defined the acceptance of a late hit as up until the note ends. When there's an argument to be made where it should only be the same window as when it's defined as an early note hit. So that's how my current code is. So for some time I had it a late note acceptable as until the sustain ends. But then I ended up changing that as to be the same window as when I accept the early note hit. The argument is, I guess it should be the same logic as early note and late note as to when to accept the note as being hit. That's right. So when you hit a note, there's 3 different variations of the note. Are you early? Are you on time? Or are you late? And the mixture of 1024 buffer size and the acceptance of a really long late window meant that perhaps my accuracy was not as well defined as it could have been. So there was a restructuring. Having the late window to be the same length as the early note window length. And I would pause the frame and I would see how close it is to the finish line. So the finish line's like when the note's going to get hit, it touches the finish line. And there's a window before that, a little gap. And then there's a window when the note goes below it. That's the same length between early and late. But it turns out, yeah, all I had to do was just lower the buffer size. And therefore, I'll get more accurate late note definitions and more accurate miss. And there's some logic about that, right? Because a game loop, you don't want too many calculations. But then on top of the calculations earlier, where we're updating every frame, the song length, the measure number, the tempo, the notes position, the frets text. We're also having to update simultaneously the guitar input and the logic of has the note been hit, and the logic of, okay, the note's been hit, now what? What you gonna do with that information with the note being hit? Well, that's another topic. That's something I changed recently. There is, hold on. There is the idea of showing the user, hey, you hit the note. Good job. And figuring out the idea of how to do that. So for some time I had the text that said hits. But the problem was that text was on the top of the screen. And it goes against looking at the finish line and relative to the note's position. Right? Because each note has its own note length. And how to tell when the note is ready to play. So you don't want to move your eyes from the bottom to the top of the screen when your primary focus is on the bottom, just to know if you hit the note or not. So there was some logic I first had where I changed the note hit text. Even that was a mess, right? Because that was a text. And at first, I'm sure I rendered the text in a frame, which you never want to do. Then from there, I cached, before the game loop started, X number of texts. And then after that, I even updated every frame, which was not good. It's like, why do you have to update that every frame? The text. And then after that, I got rid of the text, the notes hit text. And then it went to the sustain note hit effect and different variations of that. The idea was I would show note hit effect on the note itself, but that was relative to the sustained length, which turned out to be a problem. And the effect was so subtle, it was like a background effect on the sustain. And you couldn't always tell if the note was hit or not. It wasn't very effective. If a note had a short sustain, the note hit had a short visual, you couldn't tell if you hit it or not. So very recently I changed it to be the finish line changing color. Right now the finish line's white because I'm not doing any note hit, but it will change color. And that would be more of a visual effect that when I played recently, it was very effective. I just had to do some tweaks, such as changing the finish line back to the initial color once the note is over, because it turned out to be very distracting if you had two notes that were the same color and the finish line color never went back to the original. You would never be able to tell if you hit the second because they'll still be colored from the first. But still, the logic of implementing that in a frame, it's a lot of thought on how to design that, because it can't hinder the performance in terms of the note movement speed. The note movement speed has to be smooth. You can't have anything that slows down the FPS down from 60. couldn't imagine 30 FPS on this. I tied the velocity with the delta time, and it's expected to go down from a certain position of the screen. Starts at a certain position of screen, goes down to a certain position of screen within a span of 2 seconds. So the velocity is currently set for 60 FPS. And it's hard to look at that and not play. So what else? The synchronization between server and client being bulk now. There's still some issue though, because there's been past 2 sessions where, because I recently changed it to be a bulk upload rather than a single file upload. So how that works is it makes a RAR file, RAR, or a zip, one of those, and it batches the file. And it knows where to go based on a manifest, which shows the file path. And the file path is different between server and client. Server has its own path based on the user. The user client has their own path based on the user settings. They define their own path. You could click here to redefine the path, generate, visualize JSON. And even then, there is more subfolders inside of these that are referenced for file upload and download. The guitar input frequencies is its own area. Song stats is its own area. Note stats is its own area. What else? Tempo settings, dynamic tempo settings, their own area. Guitar Pro 5 files, their own area. And all that's synchronized between server and client across different platforms, Windows, Linux, Mac, whatever you want to use. Opens this. Oh yeah, someone said to me they had a similar project with this Python library, PyGuitar Pro. So I'm using PyGuitar Pro to get the song details and all that. And using Pygame to visualize it. And they asked something like, how do you get the note? What is it? How do you get the note? Because he had the issue of where getting the song length. And it was off by a second or two. And I knew what he was talking about because I encountered it too. There's a lot of variables. This looks like a cool project. What makes it look cool? So it's a project. Yeah, these are double stops. The yellow, well, the colors represent the strings, right? 6th string is the red, 5th string is yellow, 4th string blue, 3rd string orange. So that's a power chord. This is a double stop. 5th string, 3rd string, this is a double stop. This is a power chord, 5, 4, 3. Cool. You love programming and guitar. Well, combine them. This program, so when I play, it says if I hit the note, missed a note, saves it in JSON. Then I do dynamic tempo based on my playthrough. Because I like to hit 100% of notes. I don't like dynamic difficulty from Rocksmith where it removes notes. I want 100% of notes. So I just update the tempo and slow it down as much as I have to. So some measure could be really slow than another. That's just how I like to play it. And that's something in the dynamic tempo or the tempo screen. So Pygame off the bat is not friendly for user interaction. I mean, it's more meant for like a game you're playing rather than it is having menus or whatever. Off the bat, I'm talking. Because it's not the easiest thing to display certain information that the user can easily manipulate or whatever. As friendly as the tkinter, how you pronounce it, library on the bottom here, where so it's friendly where I have like buttons and drop downs and checkboxes. Hold on, I have to get out of this screen if I want to. Believe it, these are both on the same loops, these two programs. So I have to make sure I'm right on the right menu on one of them to work on the other one. But yeah, so this song creator makes the Guitar Pro 5 files, makes the songs based on algorithm, to say the least, based on user configuration of all these hundreds of variables. And the SongVisualizer displays the song. So if I generate a song, here, I don't want to open it. If I hit open, it's in a open Guitar Pro. But if I generate it, see, it already sent it to SongVisualizer. This is G major blues, tempo 145, 86 measures, E standard tuning, all that stuff. And then not even getting into the details of how the song creator is. So that's SongVisualizer there. See that X is what is that? It's a staccato. So it's an X on the sustain. Then I have user settings of the sustain length. I think I cut it down from 100%. If you're familiar with Guitar Pro, you gotta know musical language, quarter notes, eighth notes, all that stuff. What is it? Measure lengths, time signatures, note lengths. Oh, error. You know what's funny? If you're familiar with Selenium, Chrome driver, I I added this screen. It says get Guitar Pro 5, and you put the song title and search, and it's an API that pings Ultimate Guitar just by get search, brings back the results, and then I could click the button result 1, and it opens up Chrome driver, navigates to the URL, clicks the download button, logs in, and downloads it. You know why I did that? Because the moderators at Ultimate Guitar are power hungry. and they don't deserve your visit. Just have to use them for their Guitar Pro 5 files and don't interact with any of those losers. You're a newbie in guitar. Well, it's by your own fault that you're a noob. Because you could do whatever you want to not be a noob, you noob. What I mean is, what effort do you put into it? I'm just being harsh, but like this project, like this, it made me so I can't stop playing it. Like I'm several times a week, I play like an hour on minimum, just nonstop. I did. Yeah, I guess I did. I don't mean to. Don't mind me. Trying to be friendly, but that wasn't friendly. What I'm trying to say is, well, self-advertisement. Just because I played this project, because for me, it's weird to say, but it makes me think of my guitar like a video game controller rather than an instrument. Because I'm trying to hit the notes in this video game format, like Guitar Hero, Rocksmith, whatever, rhythm game format. And the recent changes I made to the note hit effect, I call it this finish line. It'll change color if I hit the note. So I plug my guitar in, the program gets the frequency of the guitar, the buffer size, I think it's 128. Chunk size, yeah, 128 buffer size, which means when I pluck the string, it gets a lot more input in a shorter span. But that means it's also more calculation. So initially, for the longest time, for some reason, okay, so the way Pygame works is you have a main while loop, right? So when I hit the start song, it starts off a while loop. Okay, while the song's active, while it's not stopped, while it's not paused. I have a song time. I could pause it. I could play it, although I may have actually just broke the play button. Yeah, I broke it. Interesting. That's another story. Reset the program, you see nothing. That's why this is alpha. I did some redesign. But when there's active game loop, right? So there's a main game loop, but I have another thread of the guitar input, basically, that has to interact with information of the notes, like how the time of the notes, when I pluck it, how does it know if it's a hit or miss, and when to display it to the user. So it was interesting because for the longest time, I think I was overcomplicating it in several different ways, but it's part of learning programming. And just recently, I optimized it so much where like it's giving me like very relevant feedback of when I hit a note, combined with this little screen here where my guitar that was an E flat, my guitar's not plugged in. I think it's picking up my microphone as input because they're on the same channel or whatever. But this screen, because for several sessions on my E flat guitar, I would notice it would say that I didn't hit the note, but I know I hit it. So I come back to this screen. I just change the screen so that I could redefine it. So I play it. It expects a certain frequency and it shows the actual frequency. and this redefine button says, okay, it's supposed to be this frequency, but your guitar is saying this. So how do I redefine what I expect to be registered as a note hit to be based on what your guitar says? I don't want to re-intonate, right? I mean, I could re-intonate my guitar and go based on the program, but I'm in the mood where I just want to play. I don't care if it's 100% intonated. It's good enough for me. So this screen, I hit the redefine button, and it redefines string 2, fret 17, or whatever. So the other day, that's what I did. My E flat guitar, since I noticed in my first string, second string, maybe not intonated, but I don't want to fix it. I just want to play. So I just redefined those frequencies based on the initial value to be set for my guitar. And I noticed, I got more note hits. And then that was pretty cool. And then I also have this list undefined chords. This is for if the song has a chord that I don't have defined in my frequency list, because I have to manually define every chord and say what frequency is expected for this chord. And I kind of save time on that. What I did initially was I defined only the first fret of the chord shape, and I wrote this function to calculate the rest from fret 1 to fret 15 or however high I wanted to go, because each fret, it can increments the frequency by a certain amount. And then it's all in a JSON. I mean, I could even share the JSON. I did that several sessions, but fret 1, string 1, whatever, string 1, fret 2, whatever. I'm saying it lists that's the key value of each dictionary entry actually the key value is the chord name. So chord 1, fret, whatever. So we could go chord detect. This chord detect screen I have to update to be this is called minigame, but this is the single note version where it shows every string and fret. I have to update this chord detect string chord detect string screen. These are different screens, right? This Pygame. This is a screen. This is a screen. This is a screen. Stat screen, Open Guitar Pro 5 screen, tempo screen. That's what I mean by screen. So I have to update this chord detect screen to be a map, kind of like this single note screen. But anyways, chord detect screens, single note detect screens. So this is the similar concept where okay, for this string is expected this frequency, string 5 fret 1, string 6 fret 1. Drop C tuning is expected to be 105 frequency, string 5 and 6 fret 1. And then you play it and it says, okay, we see that you played this frequency, and it compares my frequency with this. It's okay, it's a match. And then, or it says, oh, not detected. So I noticed with drop C, the calculations for numerous combination strings and frets were not so 1-to-1 with the formula that I had from E standard to drop C. So I had to manually redefine a whole lot of string frequencies in drop C. And there's so many unique chord shapes in drop C also that you don't play in E standard, at least on Kill Switch Engage artist songs. And there's a whole different pattern of way of playing in drop C than E standard, obviously. I mean, it's drop D, you kind of get introduced to that concept of the sixth string being a different tuning. And from there, you could play some of the chords that you could do in drop C. I want to do these Avenged Sevenfold ones. But so every song in Avenged Sevenfold, Waking the Fallen, City of Evil, those two albums, they're only there's 5 guitars. Dedicated. It's more of a feedback loop. It's like, you know, concept of learning. You look at where you're at, you try to improve and get better. And this is all a part of that. It shows you where you're good, where you can improve. And then next time you remember it, and then suddenly 5, 10 sessions go by and you go, wow, this is not a problem anymore. I kept at it. I was determined. I learned muscle memory, whatever. It's a constant feedback loop. You always have data to analyze. You know, where you always have a sense of direction. And it becomes routine after some time. So you really don't even think about it. So that's the point of this particular live stream, to try to talk whatever. Going on an hour. You haven't even seen the... I'm still actually trying to think of how to design the website, right? Because the site is up. Oh, that broke. What tuning is that? Oh, I don't have Open E tuning in here? That's a bug. Open E. Let me retry that. It was a bug. I tried to open the Open E file and then it said can't find JSON file. And I look at the dictionary and it's not defined. Open E. There we go. Wow. Interesting. Okay. That shows you how much I do Open E. Open E, I did one song on the album just to see what the big deal is, because Open E is like a slide guitar tuning or something. And yeah, I've been adding more songs recently. So I added Interpol. No, actually, no, Interpol's been there. I added, what's the other band that's just like Interpol but not Interpol? I'll know it when I see it. You know the one that says last night? I could have sworn I got that song. Maybe I didn't add it. I thought I downloaded it. Let's see. Well, let's try the Open Guitar Pro screen. Boy, just counting bug after bug. I tried getting back on an empty screen. Morgan Wall, no. Or am I just not seeing it? Fine. I'll go on Ultimate Guitar reluctantly, without any form of interaction. Who is that band? Oh, they spelled night wrong. No wonder. How did I just now realize this? No, I don't have it. Okay. Well, I guess I have to get it. Guitar Pro 5 files someday. Last night. I'm not a fan of Reptilia, but so much hype behind it. I really just want the good ones. But they may have more than 3 notes in their chord, which is where I draw the line. But I'll try it and see. It's not going to be compatible. Then I have to update it. Let's try it. I'm going to put them in the SongVisualizer area as soon as I get them in the right format. I just have to change the arrangement names in the Guitar Pro 5 file itself. Oh, there's a solo guitar. How many guitar tracks? There's 3. All right, let's just, I know I'm not showing the Guitar Pro 5, but I'm just renaming it lead, rhythm, and alt lead. Then I'll save this. There, you're gonna see a new folder. Let's see. Maybe around here. Once I save it. So export file to the right directory. Nope, not there. SongVisualizer GP, E standard. New folder, the strokes. Is it there? New folder? Oh, it's on the bottom. And then I'm gonna drop the file. Last night. Okay. Oh, nope, it didn't like. Oh, I gotta remove an arrangement. Remove. And what is this? Bass? Okay, actually I gotta add bass. So 3 guitars and bass. Desktop, SongVisualizer, Guitar Pro, E standard, the strokes. Last night. Oh, dang it, I saved the wrong file name. Why is the default of artist and song name rather than just song name? And why does it make me go all the way back? Darn Mac. Strokes. Delete that one and save that. All right, open it again. And sync. Upload the server before I modify it. Right now it's showing everything that's syncing, even though it's not. There we go. It showed it in green for a second. Couldn't read it. The terminal. I think it's uploading fine. Uploading undefined chords. Oh, I think I did click it. No, yeah, lately I've been getting errors on server upload, but not on the initial one. The first one works, and then so on the server I had a debugging prints I have to go over later. Darn bulk upload process might have never terminated after it was done. So let's go back to last night. And let's see how it is by default. Okay, so far it's all right. Double stop. But at some point I'm expecting a chord that has more than 3 notes, so that may not display correctly because I only display 3 notes. So far really boring, right? Oh, look at me. I can play double stops. Oh, look at me. I can play power chords. Look at the power chord. Look at the power chord. Okay, that's 10 to 3. Oh, why are you going to do that? Okay, that's a bit far jump. 8 to 5, 8 to 5. to 3 to 10. Why are you going to do 3 to 10? It's okay if you have a little time to do it. You know what? I'm going to try something here. Let's export the audio from the Guitar Pro 5 file to MP3 in the same directory. E standard. I need to change the logic for the open MP3 to just automatically go for MP3 of the same name of the song. So that way I don't have to manually open it. But all right, I'm going to enable Guitar Pro audio. No, SongVisualizer audio in a second. And we're going to see what happens. Hold on. Might be loud. I'm going to lower it. Open MP3 in the file. Guitar Pro, and then gotta navigate. All right, let's see. Oh, hold on. You can't hear that for some reason. Let me try platform audio. SongVis audio. Oh, really? I already have that. Gotta find it. SongVisualizer audio. Okay. Where is that? Oh, right here. All right, let's see how this goes. Nope. It's just obs that can't pick it up for some reason. It worked before. This might have to keep trying. Hold on. There we go. Now you can hear it, right? Let me turn it up a little bit. Not too loud though. Let me know if it's lagging for you or what. Should I turn it down a little bit? I'm bored. This does not look fun to play at all. All right. The other arrangement. Let's try rhythm. That's the hook, huh? Look at me, I can play power chords. This looks lazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is it 8? I can't tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, what is that? Why are you going 8, 9 to 1, 2, 3? What? Oh my goodness. And you're doing open. I'm not going to play this. Next. It may look different than what it actually is. I'm not sure because it's only 3 notes, maybe. I'm let down. This is disappointment. No wonder why I didn't have these songs in here. I think I'm too picky. I gotta get back Eagle's vocal as guitar arrangement on here. Wow, there's nothing. Oh, this is just the solo. The solo is only like 20 minutes, 2 minutes in. Forget that. And the bass is probably the most fun one. Once it kicks in. Well, is that a... Oh, I can't tell. It looks off. Yeah, that looks off. For the bass. Dang. Let me try something. E standard, blue sky. I think this should have a MP3. Nope. Damn it. Oh well. I guess I'll end it here. GG. Good stream. Fun.